What's going on, everybody? I'm just your average, everyday Canadian nerd, here to react to your average, everyday American man, here to react to 10 small towns in Canada. Now, tomorrow is, of course, Independence Day. A few days ago was Canada Day, which is why I'm doing this now, which is why I might not be doing this tomorrow, and is why I want to get this picture out of the way and get the video started. So let's do exactly that.
What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about the top 10 small towns in Canada. I'm very excited for this topic in particular,
like small town.
Growing up, us Americans, we don't know much about Canada, I'm going to be honest, but we at least know the names of some of the most populated cities in Canada, like Vancouver and Toronto and Ottawa and Montreal.
Yes.
We at least have heard of those. But I don't think I could name you one town in Canada. I'm not joking. One small town. So this is a topic I know absolutely nothing about.
And to be fair, he probably isn't aware of very many American small towns that compare. If there are small towns that compare to the small towns we're about to be introduced to, here we go.
I don't know if Canadians are the same way, or if there's famous towns in America that you know of, or little towns. I don't know. It would make me not feel as bad, I guess, if Canadians didn't know American small towns. But these aren't just small towns in Canada. They're the top small towns. Don't ask me how that's going to be determined.
I'm thinking the smallest.
Based on being great places to visit with amazing attractions, possibly great places to live.
Just the tiniest.
Grow up, settle down. Also, the title of the video here he has is They Are Hidden Gems that Canadians do not want you to know about.
Okay,
Secrets
so they're
out.
top
I'm about
10
to find out.
Small
You
towns.
can't stop me. I'm going to
Maybe
find
not the
these
smallest.
hidden gems and spread the word. Americans are going to flock and ruin. No, okay. I'll stop. No. Anyone
Maybe
who
Canadians
sees this video will find the hidden gems.
We all love a small town.
The word's out a little bit. But I am very, very interested to see, I guess, how small towns in Canada compare to small towns in America?
Okay.
I don't see how many different ways you can do a small town. A small town is a small town, but I grew up in several small towns in America.
Oh,
so
really?
It's a bit close to my heart, that feeling of a smaller population, little friendlier community, less stuff, but you kind of learn to love it in a way.
You gotta drive
this
to get to a store.
Connects to me on a personal level. So,
like, the closest store is like a few towns over. Like, maybe you got a general store in your small town, like Stevensville, for example. But if you want to go to a department store, you gotta go a few towns over.
I'm very excited. And with that being said, let's take a look.
So, here are some places you might want to consider. Number 1, Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario.
Oh, that counts as a small town, does it? Okay, so that's in my neck of the woods here, and it is a pretty nice place with a whole lot of nothing going on. There's a really nice restaurant there called Silky's, and it's like the best price for a good meal in the whole Niagara region, as far as I'm aware.
With a lot.
Niagara on the Lake.
Yeah.
That's so familiar because it's such a strange name. It's so on the nose.
All right, so you got Niagara Falls, right, where there's the waterfall, and then there's the lake, Ontario, and the part of Niagara that is on the lake is Niagara on the Lake.
Niagara on the Lake. Is this by Niagara Falls?
Lively food scene, quaint bed and breakfasts, and spectacular golf courses. Niagara-on-the-Lake is a small town with a population of 17,511. Nestled.
Oh man, okay, I get it. We're like talking about very, very specific things about the town and the community, like Niagara-on-the-Lake. If you like golf, you might like this place. I like that. It's very practical subjects we're talking about.
Also, if you're in the area visiting Niagara Falls, Niagara on the Lake has a nice street that has shops and shops and shops and shops and shops and a park, a real big park. It's a great tourist stop. No kidding. Every time I've been there, the streets are just packed with people and cars. A lot of times, tourist families just walking slow.
On the southern shores of Lake Ontario, not far from Niagara Falls. This scenic town is a popular tourist destination in the summer months. The long days, warm weather, scenic countryside, and lively downtown make for...
Wow, it is very scenic. And has an awesome pillar? Tower? What is this?
the perfect getaway. And also Niagara on the Lake is a very popular day trip from Toronto, so you may want to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Oh, so, yeah. Conversely, if you live in Niagara on the Lake, you can do a day trip to Toronto.
And if you want to know more about Niagara on the Lake, let me know in the comments down below. I can bring a camera.
Or Toronto to Niagara on the Lake. But that's actually sounds like such a nice location. You can travel to Niagara Falls, you could travel to Toronto, and then come back home to your little Niagara on the Lake and chill out.
I guess, yeah.
Wow, super strong. Number 2, it's in one of my favorite places because I lived there for 6 years, Nova Scotia. This is Mahone Bay.
Right.
Nova Scotia.
That's a province.
I'm so glad he's branching out to different provinces, especially Nova Scotia. Probably
learned the
one
word
of the
province.
provinces I have covered the least amount in any of my videos. One I know the least amount about.
Yeah, the Scotia's pretty small and not often spoken about. That's true.
Bay.
Mahone Bay. Okay.
Now close your eyes and try to imagine the perfect maritime town. Chances are what you're picturing is pretty close to what Mahone Bay looks like. Think charming churches, delightful shops, and houses painted the colors of Eastern eggs.
Yeah.
This is delightful. This is like another world.
Located in Nova Scotia's
That's the
Lunenburg
Maritimes.
County, Mahone Bay's population is estimated at 1,036, but
1,036.
Cool.
That is not a lot. A small population.
the number keeps on growing. Mahone Bay has the distinction of being the fastest growing municipality in the province.
Oh,
All right.
Words out. Secrets out. It's growing fast. Just even these drone shots he's showing of Mahone Bay. It's beautiful. And the houses have like a, I don't know what kind of feel. Old townhouse, cottagey kind of feel. It's
That's
all,
it.
Located on this bay. Beautiful
That's the
churches,
Maritimes.
beautiful trees. Beautiful.
And historically, Mahone Bay was a shipbuilding town. You'll see many nods to its heritage as you wander around. Okay.
Yeah. It's like a boat town almost. All these docks as well. Everything is on the water.
Mahone Bay was a shipbuilding town. You'll see many nods to its heritage as you wander around. Okay, and number 3 on our list is Ucluelet, British Columbia.
Okay,
Hey.
I'm glad we're jumping around provinces here. British
Other side of the
Columbia,
country now.
I believe is kind of known for being very beautiful with a lot of nature.
Just south of the world's most famous surf mecca of Tofino lies a small town with a lot to offer, Ucluelet.
Ucluelet. Never heard of it.
Me
Well,
neither.
We already got a little lighthouse-looking thing on the rocks.
Then again, there's a lot of small towns in BC, and a lot of them that we've never heard
So I
of.
like it already.
Situated on the rugged west coast of Vancouver Island, Ucluelet offers many of the same
Okay.
attractions as Tofino.
Wait, it's on Vancouver Island?
Surfing,
Fair
beaches,
enough.
beautiful resorts and lodges,
Wow.
fishing, hiking, whale watching with fewer crowds, and there are art galleries to pursue.
Cool.
Wow, yeah. Like, when I think of Canada, especially most Americans who know a lot less than I do, I think, I never picture these amazing little island... Like, this feels like so islandy. Beaches, these rocks, little lighthouse. Like, there's so many different geographical wonders.
Yes.
Variation.
Zones, biomes, absolutely. There's a lot of variation.
We'll say, to Canada, that it's kind of mind-boggling, and I even forget about how there's little, like, beachy, islandy feeling places like this.
And they're in all parts of the country as well.
Fishing, hiking, whale watching with fewer crowds, and there are art galleries to pursue, spas
Nice.
for the indulgent treat, and restaurants that are true hidden gems. The
Okay.
estimated 1,717 people who call Ucluelet home know how awesome it is to be there.
Yeah.
Number 4, Yukon.
Wow. These are... He's getting into a little detail about these towns, but not too much. I think just the right amount to get through, like, 10 amazing small towns in Canada.
Right.
But one thing I'm noticing already is they are all beautiful. Like, it feels like you'd live
Fair.
such a stress-free existence just being in these towns.
I've got a friend who lives Niagara on the Lake, and he's from Mississauga, part of the Greater Toronto area. And his main complaint about living Niagara on the Lake is that there's nothing to do. There's really nothing going on. Now, I grew up in a forest, so I have to remind him, sometimes you gotta make your own fun.
Is becoming more popular, especially with many of the immigration programs out there that are starting, especially all over northern Canada in general. Dawson City, Yukon.
Yep. Beautiful. That's a prerequisite. Look at this. Dawson City, Yukon. Okay, Yukon. That's another place in Canada I have not learned hardly
One of our northern territories.
anything about. Very little. Yukon. And there's a really lovely small town with a river running through it by the look of it.
Though its population today stands at 1,375, the historical town of Dawson City hasn't always been so small. At the peak of the Klondike Gold Rush in the late 19th century, more than 16,000 people lived in Dawson City, hoping to share in the fortunes. Most of these people have
Oh, this place used to be gigantic and actually got smaller as time went on. I bet the townspeople actually kind of like that.
It's the story of the Yukon.
It started huge and became a small hidden gem.
actually left and settled elsewhere, but Dawson City remains the second largest community in the Yukon.
Cool.
Number 5, I love Prince Edward Island for its seafood, for its red sand, and for its kind people. Number 5 is Victoria by the Sea, Prince Edward Island.
Oh, nice place.
Victoria by the sea. Another by the sea? Or what was it? By the lake, sorry. This is by the sea. Love that that naming convention. Victoria by the sea.
It's very
by the
apt.
Sea. Tells you all you need to know.
Yeah.
Prince Edward Island. I almost think of Prince Edward Island as a small hidden gem in my mind.
Kinda, yeah.
Because I kind of discovered it existed like months back. I was like, there's an island? Like a whole province that's an island in Canada? What?
Compared to the other provinces, it's pretty small.
So every time I hear about it, it's just kind of this magical place. Victoria by the Sea. Looks very nice. Looks very simple, not in a bad way. In a very nice way.
Victoria by the Sea is officially the smallest town on this list of exceptional small towns, with a population of just 74, though the number...
74? Okay.
That number changes depending on tourism.
This isn't just a hidden gem. This is like... If you show up in your car driving to town, like everyone in town is going to notice you driving by. There's only 74 people.
Inflates in the summer as seasonal residents make their migration. In a province full of lovely seaside towns, Victoria by the Sea is in a league of its own.
Wow.
The town is small and easily walkable, and every shop you see is worth a visit.
That is so cool. If it's truly 74 people in the town, that is literally a town.
Permanent
where it's
residents.
not just an expression. Everyone knows each other, which would be a really special kind of place to grow up in and live.
Especially the famous chocolate shop. You want to say Victoria by the Sea for a summer visit, as this already quiet town is extra sleepy in the winter.
Wow.
Planning a trip to PEI, it's definitely worth spending a day.
Cool. And it's got a lovely chocolate shop that actually is substantial to me.
Is Jasper, Alberta.
Oh, I love Jasper.
Alberta? Is this by Jasper National Park, perhaps?
Whether you're hiking the Rockies in the summer or skiing them in the winter, Jasper is an adventurer's dream destination. And it may be the next place you want to live.
Yeah.
The list of
the mountains, man, ridiculous.
You can see the northern lights.
And the lake.
Jasper's top activity reads like an avid explorer's bucket list. Trekking to alpine lakes, going on a wildlife tour, chasing waterfalls.
Some of these images.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
I guess I knew there were mountains in Canada, but not like this.
Just stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to.
Again, Americans need to get on board. Americans need to realize this. Canada is crazy. The nature goes off the rails in the best way possible.
Exploring ice canyons, dog sledding, ice skating on a frozen lake. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
About 4,500 people have managed to make Jasper a permanent lifestyle. And
oh man, imagine living here. Seeing this every day, it'd never get old.
There's a good chance
it gets old.
that you can too.
Such a good selection here. Like, I could imagine living in any of these places, and it's either, You could live on an island by the coast with the beach. You could live in this small maritime place or just a small city on the bay with a bunch of boats zipping around, soothing. And then there's this mountainous, foresty adventure of Jasper.
It's a great place to explore.
Kind of styles of towns, you could say.
Honestly, I could spend the rest of my life just vacationing in Canada, never even leaving the country, and it would still be a wonderful vacationing life.
Number 7, we can say it like Saint Saveur, Quebec, but we can also
Saint Saveur.
Saint Saveur, Quebec, situated in the heart of...
Oh, I'm good. I'm glad we're doing a Quebec one as well. I'm really enjoying the diverse selection of towns and provinces here.
The Laurentian Mountains, Saint Saveur, with a population of almost 10,000, might be one...
Yeah, because when I think of Quebec, I've only really seen stuff about Quebec City and Montreal. Never a small town, but most of Quebec's pretty darn big.
Yeah.
Most of it is probably smaller towns and cities.
Yeah.
That's more representative of your average Quebecois, if you will.
What?
So I actually am really happy he's shown this.
Part of the Laurentian Mountains, Saint Saveur, with a population of almost 10,000, might be one of the most adorable villages in all of Quebec.
Very cool. It's got not mountains, but smaller with all the trees. Just visually, this is cool.
Though it's less than an hour from Montreal, Saint Saveur feels every bit like the secluded mountain town, especially after a fresh snowfall.
Wow.
There are 6 ski resorts in the area.
Really?
The Laurentides. Yeah.
I imagine there's a lot of ski resorts around Canada. I don't know why I'm shocked, but that's such a cool perk. In America, it might take you a little effort to find ski resorts in some states, and they're going to have to pump out a lot of fake snow with snow machines.
We'll do the math for you. You could stay a week and ski somewhere new almost every...
Wow! Oh my gosh. This is in Quebec?
Big mountains.
Snowy mountain?
A lot of mountains in Quebec.
That being said, if you want to move to this small town, if you speak French, that's going to be a plus. I would not recommend moving to Quebec, even Montreal, not permanently without at least speaking French and being fluent in French.
Right. Oh my god, I had actually completely forgot about. I had totally skipped my mind. I was so excited about what I was seeing. That is a very good point.
Something I wanted to mention. And number 8 on our list is Golden, British Columbia.
Another British Columbia. Golden, with a name like Golden.
The interior of BC has more than a few small laid-back mountain towns that are all worthy of a place on this list. Yeah. But Golden wins our gold medal. In terms of geography, Golden has got it all. 2 major rivers, Columbia, Kicking Horse.
Wow, that is a river. It's going so slow. It's like when you go to a water park and you're drifting down the lazy river they like to name them. It's like you have one built into your town here.
Epic mountain ranges. And
oh my gosh, I cannot believe
the Rocky Mountains.
How many ridiculous, epic mountains there are in these towns and around Canada. I don't think I realized how many. Or maybe they're just all getting featured in this video, but this is not something you just stumble upon in the towns of America very often. I mean, it varies a lot state by state by state.
No, if you want to go to Golden, you have to go there very deliberately.
Yes, but this seems like every town here has had some incredible geographical feature.
And 5 major national parks in the vicinity. For many of its 3,700 residents, life in Golden involves making the most of the surrounding mountains. You can hike in the summer, ski and snowboard at Kicking Horse Mountain Resort.
Canada is just great, and these small towns are just great if you are a fan of the outdoors, it turns out.
Yeah, so funny thing, I recently heard that the Stanley Cup was won by a team called the Golden Knights. And so I get in touch with my hockey friend and I'm like, I don't know much about the hockey teams these days. They're not from BC, are they? And I'm like, seriously, BC Golden is very small. I don't think they'd have a whole hockey team. He said, no, they're from Vegas.
So maybe these aren't the best for Americans, after all. Americans like to stay inside a lot. Enjoy the comfort. Sit inside and watch YouTube. I can't complain. Not that I can talk.
Or in the backcountry if you want in the winter, and you can enjoy the stunning vistas 365 days of the year. Number 9, we hear a lot about New Brunswick, but what about those more secretive places that no one talks about? This is Alma.
That's New Brunswick.
Alma.
Yeah.
I feel like I have heard of Alma Not that that is well known
Probably from a game called Ninja Gaiden.
amongst Americans. Somewhere along the line in some Canadian video, I heard Alma. That's all I know.
Just outside of Fundy National Park is the tiny fishing village of Alma, with
Okay.
a population of 232.
The Bay of Fundy. Yes. Been there. Lovely.
232, another very small town.
Alma is the gateway to world-famous high tides of the Bay of Fundy.
Wow.
It's also a great spot to grab a bite to eat after a hike in the park. You can try the sticky buns. They're pretty good. The town raves about them, and it's for a good reason.
First place I had bubblegum flavored ice cream.
The nearby
I mean, where's the town? He's just showing water and a forest.
There you go.
Yeah, is this the town? Where is everybody? Are they hiding under that rock over there? Or... Okay.
The low tides in the Bay of Fundy are phenomenal.
Okay.
by Cape Enrage Nature Preserve is a special natural attraction with towering cliffs, rocky beaches,
They have a road as well. There is a road.
and an iconic lighthouse. It's the kind of
Okay.
place where you could easily spend hours exploring, or it may be the next destination.
Well, I'm sure it's beautiful and amazing.
Days
I just
exploring,
don't think we have
really.
a lot of footage of Alma, but it sounds very cool. Very small. Not quite 74 people, like that town on Prince Edward Island, but man, 200?
You choose to live. Number 10, if you're a Canadian, you've
Oh, this is number 10. Final one. Here we go.
heard it before. This is Churchill, Manitoba. Fun
Oh, yeah.
Churchill, Manitoba. He's saying if you're Canadian, you've probably heard of it.
Yeah.
I have not heard of this ever.
Don't remember why,
It's in
but I have.
Manitoba. Okay.
fact, there are about as many polar bears in the western Hudson Bay area around Churchill as there are permanent residents of Churchill, which are around 1,000.
There's polar bears around this town? Or that's the most Canadian thing that was said in this video.
And a second fun fact, there are 60 times as many belugas.
Wow.
So many belugas. Polar bears are the primary attraction of this very northerly small town.
Really?
Tourists flock to Churchill in the late fall to capture a glimpse of the majestic white bears, often planning side adventures for viewing the northern lights.
Oh, so this must be very north. Churchill, Manitoba.
Hudson Bay.
You can see
very
the northern
north.
lights from there? That is awesome. That's a great reason in and of itself. The polar bears, people actually come to try to see polar bears, or I didn't know that was quite a thing. Is that safe? Or
There are two ways you can get to Churchill.
Yeah.
You can fly in, it's just 2 hours from Winnipeg, or you can catch a train in. I think it's 2 days from Winnipeg. Now, driving is not really an option.
2-day train ride. So this is very isolated?
Yeah.
I feel like I want to look this up. Churchill, Manitoba.
Okay, cool. Cool. Do it.
Churchill, Manitoba. Oh, Churchill, Manitoba weather. No, just Churchill, Manitoba. Where are we at? Yeah, let me zoom out a little bit. What do we got here?
Zoom out some more.
Zooming out. There's Canada. Yes, okay. Okay, it is north.
Yeah.
Not as north as in Manitoba as is humanly possible, but very north and by the Hudson Bay.
Yeah.
Right under Nunavut. Okay, now I have kind of a
Yeah,
reference
that's
in my
very
mind.
north.
Why is it so difficult to get there? You have to take a 2-day train ride or fly in, or there's some kind of geographical feature going on here. Huh. I guess it's just very isolated, not near a lot of other towns or cities.
There are no roads. It's really remote, and we did mention that at the beginning of the video. I hope
Okay.
this list was
Wow.
interesting to you. If the video helped or even
That was
sparked
cool.
any interest, be sure to subscribe, and thank you for watching. There are a whole host of
Wow.
Makes me want to go.
Very good. I enjoyed that a bit. That was by Nader. I'm going to try to say his name. Nader Najad. And I like that. I got to give that a like. That was very cool. I know maybe this is a
job,
controversial
Nadir.
list to try to make, because it's like everyone's going to have their own list of the top 10 small towns in Canada. But for me, if nothing else, this is a really, really fun introduction to small town living in Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, they all
Good intro.
seemed to remind me a lot of small towns in the United States, except every town on this list
Small
was
town.
cooler and had more interesting nature and geographic features that were just like amped up to 10 out of 10.
Fair.
Compared, small towns in America are just like boring. There might be a cornfield.
Mining
or
towns.
Something. Some lampposts. There's not so many places like this that, at least in my life, in my experience, that I've gotten to experience. So this was quite a treat. This made it seem like there are a lot of very pleasant, fun, smaller gems to visit in Canada that go unlooked, underrated places to see. So I'm not too surprised that there's a lot more to Canada and a lot more cooler things to enjoy than I even realized. So I enjoyed all this very much. Anyway,
I did too.
You enjoyed this as well.
I hope you did.
Feel free
Go ahead
to
and like
give this
that
video a like, or leave a comment.
Say some stuff.
With your opinion.
You know, tell me if you think I should go to one of these places and bring a camera. Like, I don't know. I could. I just got my car serviced, so why not?
Some of the best small towns in Canada. And if you're interested in more videos like this, reacting to Canada,
reacting to him,
culture,
reacting to us,
Canada I've never
and
learned
things,
about. Feel free to subscribe.
Go ahead, subscribe.
And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Yes, thank you very much for watching. I enjoyed this a lot. I hope you enjoyed it even a little bit. And go ahead, leave me your thoughts, leave me your opinions, leave me your suggestions. And just keep being awesome. Bye.
Science, spirit, life. Nerd Pumpkin.